Hello and welcome to the John Hurt Show. Today's episode is called Do Celebrities Really Make as Much Money as People Think? This is going to be a viewer consultation episode. That means we're going to be answering questions submitted by viewers. So before we begin, I want to encourage everybody to subscribe, like, follow, and comment on the show, as well as to check out a company called HollywoodIsCalling.com. It allows people to purchase a live call with more than 100 celebrities. You can get a live 15-second call from your favorite TV star or movie star for $19.95. And you can get a live 30-second call from your favorite star for $29.95. It's a great gift idea for special occasions. And it's also great just to get a live call from your favorite movie star, or to buy a gift for a friend or a relative and let them get a live call from their favorite movie star. It's a lot of fun. People really love this service. So check it out. It's called HollywoodIsCalling.com. Now let's get started. First question is from Denton. Denton writes, society seems to be getting more violent and crime prone every day. Do you think this is a good time to move out to the country? Well, that's a complicated question and it's different for everybody, but if you can manage to make money out in the country away from all the commercial activity of the cities, then it's certainly an option you should consider. Generally speaking, rural areas, they tend to be a little safer, a little saner. There's less insanity out there. There tends to be higher crime in the cities. There tends to be more insanity. People are getting very, very violent, in a lot of cities. So it is a factor in your decision making. And also, I think we're now entering a point in time where crime in cities is going to continue to escalate. It's going to continue to escalate for economic reasons, for political reasons, and for cultural reasons. There is something about the insanity of our current culture which is promoting and even advocating violence between people, divisiveness between people. They're pushing this really hard in the media. So you need to be smart enough to know what that's all about, and also you need to put the safety interests of your family and yourself first. That's what matters. Not what the reporters say, not what the movies and TV shows say. You need to prioritize the safety of your own family first. That's the only thing that matters. Next, Abigail writes, I can't believe how much food prices have jumped again in the last few weeks. What can I do? Well, number one, I would cook more meals at home. I think, while it's great to patronize restaurants to help them stay in business and to circulate the money, I think that if money's really tight, you should spend your dollars at home, because that's where your meals will go furthest on the dollar. I also think you should consider getting a membership at Costco or BJ's, because that will allow you to purchase food in bulk, in larger quantities, and thus at a lower price. You might also go online and see if there are any food cooperatives in your area. And if there aren't, if things were really dire, what I would do is I would go door to door and go to 100 of your neighbors, or even 200 of your neighbors. Just go up and down the streets and hand out a circular that says, hey, you've noticed food prices have increased dramatically. How would you feel about joining a neighborhood food co-op and then striking up a deal with a neighborhood grocery store and telling them that if all 100 of us, or all 200 of us, or even 300 of us in this neighborhood agree to purchase our food at their grocery store, would they be willing to give us another 3 or 4 or 5% discount in exchange for having all of us agree to shop at your store? And I think if you approach half a dozen grocery store managers, you'll find one with the authority or the innovativeness to accept your offer. And that could knock off an additional 3 to 5 or even more percentage points off the cost of your food each week. It's worth a try. You'll be bringing a lot of business to a grocery store, and you guys can cumulatively, as a group, save a lot of money for yourself. So give it a try. It never hurts to ask. Give it a try. Next, we have a question from Miley, and she writes, money is very tight now. Do you think buying used clothes is a good idea at this point in time? No, it is a terrible idea. Why? COVID-19. I wouldn't trust wearing used clothes from other people on yourself or on your children, no matter what. It's better to walk out of the house wearing your own tattered clothing than it is to risk getting used or donated clothes from strangers. You just never know. In this day and age, it is not safe. So be smart. Now, alternatively, you should take a look at the clothes being sold, the brand new clothes being sold at Walmart, Targets, and other places, um, because their clothes are really inexpensive. They're not always the best clothes or the most stylish, but they're new and they're affordable. And maybe if you're having financial difficulties, that's something you might want to consider at this time. Check them out. You can also buy affordable clothes online, so look into that as well. Next, we have a question from Abraham. Abraham writes, do you really think celebrities make as much money as people think they do? Absolutely not. In fact, there are countless videos on YouTube showing how celebrities deliberately mislead the public with where they live, what they drive, all of that, just in an effort to create the impression that they're more prosperous than they really are. Why do they do that? There is a certain belief system out there that money attracts money, and that if producers and studios smell desperation on a celebrity, they're going to offer them less or hire them less. And if they sense that a celebrity is really prosperous and doesn't need them, then they will offer them more money and better jobs. So there is some logic to this sort of deception on the part of celebrities. The other thing is that I know how little reality TV stars get paid. I know how little musicians get paid. Musicians, not only do they rarely get paid at all, but sometimes when they're promised, X number of dollars, they get stiffed out of that. So, all of that is a factor. Now, if you're a celebrity with a hit TV show or a hit motion picture, then that changes the equation dramatically, because now that adds to your leverage. Now your agent is in a stronger position to negotiate better terms for you on the next TV show, the next movie, the next commercial, the next project. Your leverage improves with each success that you experience. So keep that in mind. But as far as the music business, stay away from it. Unless you have a trust fund, or you're willing to starve for the next 20 years, or worse yet, you're willing to starve for a decade or 15 years, and then at a later stage in life be willing to pursue another career and all the difficulties that ensues because you just love music so much. Well, God bless you. I wish you the best. But just go into it with your eyes open. You can be broke for a long time as a musician. Next question is from Bert. Bert says, I'm a dentist that is seeing my business decrease because of medical tourism. Medical tourism is where lots of people are going to Mexico for inexpensive dental trip. They'll go down there, they'll drive across the border, and then they'll pay much less for a dental procedure than they would in the United States. How can I compete with this? Well, you have to start promoting the fact that that your current and your future customers need to know that the products and the dental supplies that you use to perform your dental procedures is state of the art and it's safe. It's not going to be third rate the way it can be from some of these offshore or outside the country dental offices. It's, you're not going to get a crown and have it crack in 6 months because it was substandard and somebody got a really good deal on it. You can be relatively confident that a dentist in the United States is going to be sterilizing his utensils on a regular basis, and you may or you may not be able to be confident that that's happening with dentists outside of the country. So remind people that they're getting what they pay for. That's the important thing. There's more risk when you leave the country. I'm not saying that people aren't getting a lot of great deals. They really are. There are countless stories, news stories online of people going to Mexico or overseas or to India and getting major surgery performed that they can no longer afford in the United States. and some of it's being done very competently if you research the doctors and the location really well. But sometimes there are horror stories, so be mindful. It can go either way. So Griff writes, I would love to be a writer. Is it still possible to make a living as a writer in this day and age? Well, the problem is that a lot of newspapers are now moving towards articles written by artificial intelligence programs. So they're trying to replace writers on that level. Also, a lot of media companies now have seen their advertising revenue completely disappear because of recent economic events. And so that's causing them to lay writers off left and right. So, but that's the bad news. The good news is there are a number of websites out there that you as a freelance writer can visit, and you can bid on writing jobs. And so you can generate income on the side that way. Now, you want to hang on to your day job, keep the money coming in there, but you can also pursue a freelance career using these freelance writing websites. So keep that in mind. Next, Clark writes, my car is a complete money pit. It's breaking down constantly and it's costing me a fortune. What should I do? Well, there are hundreds of thousands of used cars getting ready to flood onto the market very soon because of the economy and because of bankruptcies in the car rental industry. One car rental company alone filed for bankruptcy recently, and they're being reported to be putting 500,000 used cars onto the market. And this is going to flood the used car market, and it will inevitably begin to drive down the prices of used cars. So you need to keep your eyes open and watch for these great deals as they begin to make their way to the used car market. I would recommend buying a used Lexus or a Toyota that's only been owned by one individual. You want a one owner car, and you want to check the Carfax to make sure it has 0 accidents and 0 damage. Don't confuse accidents and damage with with each other. They are different. Accidents are more substantial. Damage can simply be a dented fender from somebody tapping your car door or something. So make sure you get a car with 0 accidents, 0 damage, and 1 car owner. Next, we have a question from Ava. Ava says, I want to become a hairstylist. Is that a good career move? What I would recommend that you do is you get 5 or 6 years worth of experience, and then I would try opening up your salon or renting a booth inside of someone else's salon so that you can work for yourself. Now, obviously, you're going to need to have your own clientele before you make that move, but your income should rise dramatically. Now, remember, whenever you work for somebody, you always want to try and get the name and contact information of your contacts if possible. So keep that in mind so that one day you can use those contacts to try and open your own place. So with that in mind, I want to thank you for watching, and we will talk to you soon.